crawled in, and worms crawled out. It's time to bury it all, without a doubt.
The story was too real and too scary to be uploaded on the internet for long. Everyone who reads or listens to it are mysteriously banished from this earth. Watch at your own peril.
One not-so-groovy day, I had received a mysterious cassette tape in my mailbox. I opened a mysterious brown manila envelope and opened it to reveal the mysterious tape. It was a mystery. I immediately put it in my computer and checked the files inside. Inside the files of the mysterious video cassette tape I received from a brown manila envelope I found two files, groovy.exe and a txt file called don'tdoit.txt. All it said on it was "Whoa, Nelly!" in blood red text that frightened me something fierce, where I had been afeared. Without a moment's hesitation, I spent a minute of quiet contemplation waiting and mashed my LMB, left mouse button, two times, on groovy.exe. The screen was one shade blacker than the blackest black my computer monitor was capable of displaying, without being turned off, of course, which is a whole other level of dark black that I prefer not to get into right now. Every button I pressed just made Earthworm Jim say, "Groovy!" There must be something wrong with this cassette tape I had placed into wherein the computer, I said aloud. I reset the game and it started immediately into the first level of Earthworm Jim, New Junk City. Everything was normal after that point, and I enjoyed myself some fine classic Earthworm Jim gameplay. Nothing out of the ordinary, not until, you know that part with the cow launcher part? The part where you launch a cow by dropping a refrigerator? You have to whip or shoot the refrigerator until it falls down. This activates the mechanism to launch the cow. See, it's something of a trebuchet, or cow tipple, if you must. Look, I'm not going to get into the particulars of the propulsion of heavy animate objects, but suffice it to say, what was I talking about? Yu-Gi-Oh! It was holding a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card in its hand. It was a dead baby fetus and not a heavy cow, like one of those familiar with the classic video game Earthworm Jim would expect. The fetus holding a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card triggered something inside me. It reminded me of my dead baby brother that I never knew, but had always expected would probably really be into Yu-Gi-Oh! Something big. Were he alive today, had I not destroyed him in the womb. It's something I always felt guilty about, but my parents told me I couldn't have known. I continued playing, trying not to think much of this strange aberration, in what I concluded to be a product of a sophisticated ROM hack in this mysterious cassette tape. This must be a practical joke by my 12-year-old friend Benjamin, I said aloud. I don't know if he knows how to hack into a ROM like this, but he helped my mom install American Online before, so he's probably pretty good with computers or something. I shrugged it off and continued playing. That's when my dad entered my room, as he does from time to time to check on me. My dad always was a mysterious man. He leaned against the doorway and watched as the screen went to the groovy part with Jim's face on it, and it was at that moment that I will never forget and will haunt me until I forget it. It was when Earthworm Jim suddenly, and without warning, hyper-realistically whipped my now-dead dad in half. Computer monitor screen.
I'm dead now, my alive son, and it's all video games' fault. By the way, I brought home some pizza.
I cried while angrily clenching fistfuls of pizza. How? I cried. How could my friend, Benjamin Wormearth, of which I share a 6th grade class with, have made such a good high-tech ROM hack of this game? I continued to play. I launched the fetus and made a squishy sound when it landed off screen, and the soundbite that did played was... Then a black screen again. I waited exactly 21 minutes and 32 seconds until the game started again. It showed Earthworm Jim's face, but he was crying blood. He was screaming a terrifying scream of groovy that was louder than the sun. Then it moved to the next stage, but in a flat hell level, with a warped version of that track that was all scary and touched me in my guts in a way I can't say I was too fond of. I ran for about 6 minutes and 6.6 seconds and stumbled across Earthworm Jim's crying and dead body. He was dead and crying tears of dead crying blood. The body spoke to me.
I'm trapped here. I'm your brother that you killed in birth when we were brothers in Mom's womb. Tim, you have to defeat Earthworm Jim. Otherwise, this world would be Earthworm Dim. Idiot.
The game turned off and I heard a groovy come from the kitchen and echo into the night sky. I ran to the kitchen to find Earthworm Jim standing there. Jim screamed, "Whoa, Nelly!" And the Andy-Asteroids music began playing while Jim chased me about the house, whipping me with his terrible head. My skin bruised and blistering with slimy welts across my back. I rolled into a corner by the trash and found a Yu-Gi-Oh card on the ground. I thought about my dead fetus Yu-Gi-Oh card brother, and I knew what to do. I held it up to the ceiling shouting, You've activated my trap card."
No, how could you have done this, Timothy?
Earthworm Jim growled in an otherworldly, demonic voice. Jim got knocked off his feet and clattered to the ground with a bunch of dirty dishes and various kitchen knickknacks. With an exhausted smirk on my mouth, I walked over to Jim. I grabbed his head and yelled, "This is for all the wars, hunger, slavery, racism, and traffic accidents on this star known as Earth." And I began to whip Jim's body with his own head while screaming, "Now this is groovy." I buried him in the backyard and told him, "You're an earthworm, Jim. Obviously, this is where you belong." I walked away and thought of ripping up the cassette with my bare hands and throwing it in the trash. Cold wind blew and the jet bike music from Chrono Trigger played in my head. I decided I would sell it on eBay, and as I shipped it to the next unsuspecting recipient, I whispered to it, "I feel great."
I feel great!